Let's debrief. Episode 7 of Universaligue. Happy New Year, by the way. I have totally been waiting for this episode. Not because I want to be stressed out again. It's just because so many things have happened just right at the start of the new year for me personally. Like, if you guys didn't know, I was literally in a severe car crash like this past Monday. And honestly, it was so bad that I am actually really grateful to be alive because it was that bad. My car is completely gone. Like, it's so the crash was just so gnarly. If you see the pictures, you would be like, wow, can't believe you survived that. Not even being dramatic, like I'm not even kidding at all. It's been very traumatic for me. And so I've been looking forward to this episode because I was like, I've been stressed out because of my own personal trauma, but maybe a survival show trauma like Universaligue would top that and distract me from that, you know? So that's what's been going on. I am recovering, honestly, physically, mentally, I don't know, but I only have minor injuries, so that's good. Like, I'm really glad about that. I'm grateful to be alive and commentating on this freaking show. Anyways, episode 7, Universaligue. Spoilers ahead if you haven't seen it. Let's debrief it. Also, you guys, look, I have new nails. If I'm not looking at the camera, it's because I have my notes. Y'all already know. Like I said, spoiler warning. If you haven't seen it, please scroll away or close your laptop, close whatever. Stop watching the video, okay? Episode 7 is the third to last episode. We are getting 2 more episodes back to back. I heard it's gonna be this coming weekend. Today is January 12th, Sunday, my time, California time. I'm actually thinking if I should do kind of like a delayed live reaction or something, or I can just like comment on the last 2 episodes together. I don't know yet. I'll let you guys know. I've always wanted to do a live anyway, either here or on YouTube, because then I can commentate in real time. But I'm still trying to figure out how that's gonna happen, but I'll let you guys know. The thing is, I also want to mention though, for those of us here in the US, the TikTok ban is happening. We are not for sure yet. A lot of people have been saying that it's probably gonna go through. So us here in the United States would be losing TikTok by January 19th. That's crazy timing for them. They are here to sabotage my happiness for real, okay? So yeah, if anything happens, I already made a post about it where I'll be going. If you're watching this, make sure to follow me on YouTube. I have my channel right there. That's where I'll be posting usually my full commentary. So a lot of my full commentary is there. If you want the full yap session, it's on my YouTube. I usually put it there first. Aside from that, I'm also going to be on Lemonade, and maybe I literally just downloaded Red Note. I'll be there. I'm not gonna be on Instagram, sorry guys. Still really hoping that the TikTok ban doesn't happen so I can be here with you guys still. Before we get into the debrief, I do want to just put like some quick disclaimers. I truly appreciate how many of you are really curious about my commentaries, and you know, starting this like debrief session with Universaligue, I've never done something like this before. I started it because I want to talk to you guys and like experience this with you all. So it's been really fun for me. You guys have been so gracious and nice about everything. But I also just want to put this disclaimer out. This is my personal opinion, okay? Don't take it as law because I'm literally just a fan watching this show like you guys. I actually really love it when people comment, oh my god, you said exactly what I was just thinking, because it really makes me feel like we're all on the same wavelength, you know? But I understand that you all have your own preferences and I also have mine. Let's just respect that for sure. My taste is not gonna be your taste, you know? We're all different people. Most of my comment section has been really super respectful. I really appreciate that. But I've also noticed a few people literally waiting for me to post just to drop the wildest comments, either about the trainees, the mentors, or the show itself, just to start drama. Like, please stop. Not with me, but like, I feel like they're just rage baiting in the comments, and I'm like, you all need to stop. No hate comments here. We all have our favorites. Sometimes saying a trainee is a dozen when literally they were casted for the show, so I don't think they're dozens. Be so for real. They are very talented. I know this is a survival show and obviously that means criticism is inevitable, but at the end of the day, these are real people. You gotta remember that. The K-pop industry has really had such a rough year last year, especially with idols facing so much hate, so many hate waves, so many controversies. So there's bullying scandals and like really career-ending controversies. Rise, for example. I don't want to create that same toxic atmosphere here when these trainees haven't even debuted yet. And I don't usually block people. I probably should, but I've seen some comments that are just pure negativity or just like really insane speculation. Like how do you know that information? Like you're just speculating just to speculate and create drama, okay? If I see it, I'm either gonna block or like just delete it. So sorry, but like I don't think it's productive for the discussion of this show. Like I know the competition is getting intense, but we don't have to let hate fester. Please behave. Anyway, let's get into it. Episode 7. Here we go. The concept is 7. They really timed this episode. Episode 7. Concept 7. This round is basically built around the 7 theme. If you guys remember, this is how it works. Each team performs twice. The mentors pick the strongest 7 from their team to perform. Only those trainees that get selected for their elite 7 gets to perform in front of the live audience. So if you're not chosen, you get 0 votes when it comes to your live audience voting. As a trainee, it's advantageous for you to obviously perform in both, but at least perform once, right? In a way, with these rules being built up, like this round turns into an individual competition within the teams itself, but also keeping the team concept, because the team rankings still matter, because the best or the elite 7's combined scores count towards the final team rankings. So it's a mix of both. You're competing individually, but also, you know, at the end of the day, it's a team concept, which I think is pretty interesting, honestly. Let us address the elephant in the room, which is the final scores of this episode. The elephant in the room is basically Groove winning again. So they won with 1,700 points. Rhythm was second, 1551. Beat was also 1,500, but 1,539. Okay, honestly, not gonna lie, everyone ate this round for me. Like, the competition is so intense, and since it's only the best 7 performing, you know the stages were gonna be insane anyway. If I were a live audience member, I would be so conflicted who to vote for. Also, the songs in this episode, you guys, like, I need to fucking know if they'll release these officially, because we only got, like, Intercept, right? The Intercept songs from like 3 episodes ago. My favorite from that is, if you guys don't know, Mamma Mia. I love that song. El Capitan is such a good producer. Like, that song is so addictive. With this round, the songs are so good. Only You is my absolute favorite. Like, from the moment I heard it, I was like, oh my god, this is my song. This is what a banger of a song. I feel like that is my vibe. It reminds me of 17's Home mixed with Your Dawn. If you know, you know. Can totally listen to this nonstop. I've seen some people say they don't like Roller Coaster, which is crazy to me. Like, I take that as a personal attack. That song is so Twas coded, and I've been in my Twas era lately. It's like refreshing concept of this song is literally the most popular K-pop trend right now. Like, a lot of the 5th gen groups that are coming out, they want to emulate that refreshing concept, and Twas is so good at that. Like, that's literally their core, okay? And that's what it reminds me of. It's like a mix of things. It could be Fire Confetti. Or maybe Highlight. Plot twist even. It's really just Twas. If it wasn't even clear, I love refreshing concepts. It's the K-pop genre that like is really popular right now. It's been such a big hit amongst like 5th gen groups right now. Maybe I'm just getting old or whatever, and I just want to like reminisce about my youth, okay? So the dark, hard-hitting concepts are just like not doing it for me. I'm really just in my refreshing concept era because it's so easy to listen to. If I'm listening to like a dark concept, I feel like I need to be in a specific mindset to fully like enjoy the song, you know? But like refreshing concepts, girl, that's like an everyday listen to me, okay? Like, I don't need to prep my brain for that. I will defend Roller Coaster with my life. I really love that song. I don't know where it's coming from. Maybe it's like on Twitter where people are like disappointed with the song. I have no idea. But people were commenting on the Roller Coaster video on Universe account and saying like, oh, like people have been really hating on this song. So I don't know if they're just making that rumor up or whatever. I don't know why you would hate that song. But still, I am an only you girly though. Like that song is so good. Like inject that song into my veins, please. My, which is the other song that was performed by Team Beat, is also really good because they like, you know, El Capitan said it has this like Latin flavor in it and it's like a sexy, country concept, okay? Honestly, I love a little fusion when it comes to music, okay? Believe it or not, I listen to reggaeton because my boyfriend is Mexican. I enjoy a little Latin flavor here and there, okay? Let's talk about the scores real quick. So honestly, with how insanely good everyone was on this round, I really feel like the score should have been much closer. Like personally for me, even though Groove did an amazing job, I don't think the gap between whoever placed second should have been that big. Like, it shouldn't have been 17-11 and 15-51. Even if Groove didn't win, maybe, like, it's rhythm or beat. Like, I think the margin of points in between the teams should not be that big. And I totally get why a lot of online voters, basically anyone who weren't part of that live audience, you know, so basically us, are feeling frustrated because the point difference between Groove and the other teams has consistently been so wide. The perfect example was definitely the prison one. Like, this is not me hating on Groove at all, okay? Like, I love Groove. You don't even know. Like, a couple of the trainees that I've been voting for and have been on my lineup are in that team. They are a really strong team, and I think they are still the team to beat. But I just feel like at this stage in the competition, the scores should really reflect how tight the race is. I don't think we should be getting that type of results. No matter who won this round, okay, this first unit round, I think the score should be a little tighter. I actually don't even care which team wins. To me, like, I'm not married to any team. Like, I'm just voting individually who I like. Universe has really not cleared up on how the debut lineup is, which is so crazy because we're almost done with the show, you know? I don't really care which team wins because I care more about the gap. Like, just like how Chaeun-ki was like literally celebrating that they narrowed the gap between them and Rhythm when they announced the results, that should crack me up. At this point though, every single point counts. Like, it's not just about winning and more, it's about narrowing the gap between teams. It's about the actual points. I feel like we're at a point where every team is at their absolute best. The competition is so intense and no one should be winning by a landslide, especially in live voting. That's really my biggest gripe right now. I don't care who wins in the rounds. I think that the points should be tight, you know? Like, looking at these three performances, they were all incredibly strong. The teams only had small things to refine. Really minor tweaks, not major issues. And if you compare these performances to round one, the level of improvement is insane. Every single trainee has indeed leveled up, and the teams are catching up to each other's performance-wise. At this point, the playing field feels so even. Like, the score should be reflecting how competitive it actually is, okay? But again, you know, that's just my opinion. I don't know. What it is, but I feel like the live audience really has beef with Team Beat for some fucking reason. I don't know what they did. Like, did Team Beat beat you guys up or something? Because, like, I feel like they literally do not like Team Beat. I don't know what it is. Something about them, it's like the live audience is just not clicking with for some reason, you know? Okay, now that I got that out of the way, let's talk about the performances. So let's start with Only You unit, which was Team Groove. Before they went on stage, Changsub was feeling a little unsure about it this round because he knows that the competition is tight, you know? Like, he knows that everyone's gonna go up there with their A game. He even made a comment about saying how like, I've been sure in the past few rounds, but this one I'm not even sure at all. So the uncertainty, he can feel the intense competition already. So it was so interesting to me though. What I noticed at first is that groove started this time instead of rhythm. Like rhythm usually always starts when it comes to these rounds. So I don't know, maybe it was just like kind of like a producer call, or they just wanted to change it up or something, but I thought that was interesting. I don't know. Groove showed up in white suits, like literally full on Prince Charming Snow Princess vibe. The girl that was like in the audience looking for Park-han, that is literally me. I was like, girl, I feel ya. I'd be looking for him too. Heejun looks so princely, you guys. Like, I was like, oh my god. I think white is his color. He looks so good in this one. And honestly, his visuals are stunning. Maybe that's just me, but like, I really do have a soft spot for Heejun. I love Heejun so much. Like, I've been voting for him. Interestingly enough, 2 of the people or the trainees that got traded from Rhythm are starting this round. So Heejun and Juwon. I think Woonki is my favorite commentator, honestly. Like, every time he says something, it's always so funny. Like, when he like called out Hanseo was saying how like, oh yeah, Groove has won like 2 rounds already, and then Woonki was like, you were only there for 1 round, so what are you talking about? Or something like that, I don't know. But I thought that was so fucking funny. He's so funny for real. It's also interesting when Rhythm was commentating about Groove, because they were all like really sad about Juwon being gone. 10 was literally like, let's try to bring him back, okay? Like that is his son right there, okay? For this round, as Groove always does, they decided to use handheld mics. They're a very vocally focused team. It was interesting looking at the behind the scenes where Juwon was integrating himself in this new team, and he was struggling with his transition from like a performance-based team to now a vocal-based team. He had a hard time kind of like figuring out how to hold the mic. When I was watching that scene, I was like, wouldn't it just be instinctive, you know? Like, wouldn't it just like, you just hold it whenever you're comfortable. So like if you're moving it right, you would move it to your left. But it's not. There's actually like an art to holding the mic when performing. So also when I was like watching them practice, you can really tell that Juwon is that dancer. He is so strong as a dancer. You can tell it in the practice and you can tell it in the performance. Park-han's voice was hoarse when they were practicing and everything. He became kind of like the default voice coach, vocal coach, and Chung-sub was like, you need to rest. He needs to protect his voice more, okay? Kind of main vocals, that's your biggest asset. You need to like be careful. That is your weapon. Okay. When it comes to the performance, I thought it was really clean. So clean, not just because they were wearing white, okay? Maybe that kind of helped. But honestly, like I said, I love this song the most out of all the ones that were performed. One of Groove's biggest strengths is that everyone really gets to shine. Chung-sub does an amazing job when it comes to line distribution. Like, he makes sure that each member plays to their vocal strength. He's so strategic about it. He's an idol himself and like a vocally gifted person. He just knows. You can really see this in their performance because they all look very comfortable on stage. So if your mentor says like, this is what you're really strong at, and then he actually offers you this job when you're performing, of course you're gonna feel confident and comfortable on stage, right? Like I said, the performance was very clean. It was super clean. I think the choreo was so fun. Like Juwon really added an amazing dance element to the group. Like he stands out so much in the department, especially in this team. Not saying that they're not gifted when it comes to dance, right? Like I feel like he is definitely the strongest out of all of them. When Young said Juwon still has that rhythm DNA in him, I 100% agreed. Like I said, not that Groove are bad dancers. They're actually really incredible, okay? But Juwon just moves differently. You can see it in the performance. You can tell that he's a performance-trained trainee who was raised by rhythm. Park-han's vocals were absolutely incredible. Like he really made the song for me, okay? He really made that song for me. But honestly, everyone had a great screen time, which is super important. Like even Gangdong and Junjin, who I've barely seen in the past episodes. Like they've been in the background a lot. So for them to be able to showcase themselves in this episodes, I was like, oh, I love that for you guys. And I think that is super important in like such a team-based show. Like you want everyone to shine, right? And I think that may be a part of the reason why Groove won. Like they not only look comfortable vocally, but you can also see every member getting their moment. No one is overshadowing anyone else. Like, that said, I love this song. I think it was executed perfectly, but you know what I really want? Like, I want to see Groove take on like kind of like a hard-hitting concept at some point, you know? I think I've seen this type of concept with them before. Like, I think it was maybe the first round when they were performing B2B. It's kind of very reminiscent of that concept, but I really haven't seen them do kind of like a hard-hitting concept. We got that like sexy vibe with Prison, but I feel like they haven't done a full hard-hitting concept just yet. I thought this may be the round that they would kind of showcase that, just because like this is technically their last round before the live show, you know? And I get it, they're like a vocally heavy group and hard concept don't really like allow for strong vocal showcase, but I think it would be so interesting to see them switch it up. That's my take. Let's talk about my unit, Team Beat. Okay. I think this was my favorite performance of the round. No joke. I personally think I would have voted for this team if I was in the live audience. The choreo was insane. The visuals were top tier. Like, what they were wearing, their fits were like really suited for that song. Everything from their visuals to the choreo to the vocals just kind of gelled together. Like, it was very cohesive and it's what the song needed, you know? Also, it was so interesting to see Woongi pull a sexy concept, like, especially with the black hair. I think he looks really good with black hair, honestly. I was actually surprised when Kyung-ho was like, I've never seen him with black hair. I was like, you guys were in the same group. Did he not? Has he been like a natural blonde or whatever? Team Beat's performance, a lot of my favorite parts about it was when Kyrie is center. Like, that shit got me excited because I feel like he is such a great dancer. So every time he was center, I was like, oh shit is going down. I think he's such a dance leader, honestly. The energy changes when he's in center. I think overall the vocals were really stable for like a choreography like that, especially Kyrie's. Like, I'm always so amazed by how stable his vocals are. He was hitting all the really intense moves, but he sounded flawless. I need this man to debut. Like, I love Kyrie so much. I would be really upset if he doesn't. Okay? There's just so many good trainees. Hyotae's vocals were impressive. I haven't really noticed him as much, so hearing him and his vocals, I was like, wow, you have really improved so much. Also, it was really great to see the side of B. We've seen them nail fresh concepts a lot, and I think they do it perfectly. But I think this was a complete transformation for them. Like, honestly, this performance had so much theatricality to it. Like, not just because Kyrie pulled off that blindfolded moment, you all know that, but because each member really fully embodied the concept. Like, some of the members who aren't naturally inclined toward a sexy concept, I feel like they really stepped it up. Like, for example, Hyotae, he's more of like a cutesy, fresh concept. Like, that's just his visuals. And also Anyul, honestly. They thrive in that refreshing, cutesy concept, but they really transformed for this performance. I think Jino was born for a concept like this. I think he fits in well with a sexy concept as well. I feel like that is Beat's strength. They're kind of like chameleons. They just know how to embody a concept well. You give them something and they're just gonna execute it. I guess they're very versatile when you think about it. Watching the choreo, that leg move is so freaking iconic. I think with this concept, I feel like choreo was very crucial for this. You need to be really synchronized or it would just look so discombobulated, you know? I think they really delivered. Honestly, this might be one of my favorite Beat performances. When they were talking about how the audience, that this was the first time the audience has been so loud for a Beat performance, yeah, deserved, because I think this is one of their best, and I'm like kind of sad that they didn't score higher. Now let's talk about the roller coaster unit from Team Rhythm. Rhythm has been consistently second in the past rounds, and I know that can be really frustrating. And when we saw it behind the scenes, you saw that JL and Steven have been really like, we really need to win this. Like, they were so determined. The fire is burning. And I think it was really adorable where they kind of like co-led the group, you know? JL was teaching the choreography, which has been Juwon in the past, but they lost Juwon. It was really sad when they were showing some of the clips of Rhythm when they were really sad when Juwon left, and I was like, oh my god, like, please, maybe bring it back. I don't know. That really got me. For this concept, I think facial expressions and stage presence is really important. They're doing a refreshing concept, which they've never really done before. I think when it comes to rhythm, they've been really focused on performance in itself, and they've done more of the hard-hitting, sexy concepts with Give Me That, and then they did Ignition, which is more of like a hard-hitting song, right? Those are the concepts that they really thrive at because they are a performance-based group. So those type of performances really showcases their, you know, performance abilities. When it comes to the roller coaster stage, what I really like about their performance is how it showed a completely different side of rhythm. Okay, like I said, they've never done this before, so it was a nice surprise, honestly. We're so used to them pulling off that hard-hitting performance-heavy stages, but with this cute and refreshing concept, the focus completely shifts from the choreography to actually facial expressions and stage presence. I think this was like definitely a very experimental move for rhythm, and I guess like that's a good thing, right? Like it's a challenge. Why not? Let's not be boring. This is how you grow. Okay, you challenge yourself. I think at this point in the competition, they have to show versatility. So it was really nice to see them try something new. Like this was definitely, like I said, giving Twas coded energy. Like it also reminds me of Candy Sugar Pop by Astro. And Yang Yang were definitely right. The only thing that may have affected the performance was their nerves. I think I enjoyed the performance. Like the entire time I was like smiling. I found them so incredibly adorable. And with this refreshing concept, the only thing that could really kind of, I don't know, like mess you up is the nerves, you know? With a fresh, bright concept, you have to look really comfortable on stage. Like if you're tense, it's gonna show in your facial expressions, and facial expressions are so important, like I said, in this concept. Like I do think the members who aren't used to doing a cute concept like Steven and Tian still did well, but you could tell they were really trying hard. Like which is great, you know, they kind of have to. It doesn't come natural for them, right? Compared to Jae and Daisuke, which is they can naturally fit into this concept, no problem. I kind of hated how Yushin and Ayumu didn't get much screen time. The entire time I was like, the cameraman, I feel like, has favorites. Show me Yushin and Ayumu, because I can see them like slaying it with a choreo in the back. Yushin is such a great dancer. You saw that? We all saw that in the holiday episode where he like bodied that freaking random play dance. Ayumu has really stable vocals, and I was like, why didn't they get any focus in that stage? I wish we got to see them more. Since we're not the live audience and we're watching the camera's perspective, which means we're seeing whatever the show decides to highlight, couldn't tell if they were nervous or not, because from how I was watching it, I was like, oh, this is so cute. I was like smiling the entire time. But I think for the people that are watching it in real time on stage, I think the nerves really impacted how the performance felt for them. This might be the reason why the live audience didn't really feel like this performance was that strong. And also one thing I've been really thinking about, Team Rhythm kind of has a disadvantage that they don't have a Korean member. The reason why I think that is a disadvantage also came from Ten and Yang Yang's worry when Ju-won was traded, right? That is the reason for my speculation. I feel like Ten and Yang Yang feel that not having a Korean member would really affect the live audience voting. And they probably really knew how crucial Ju-won's presence was for audience reception. So I think that may have affected the results. But I think overall, this was such a fun performance. Was it my favorite? Not really. I feel like Rhythm has had way better performances. I think Beat, for me, really delivered. But even if it wasn't their strongest, I do love that they went for something different. It was great to see this side of them. When it comes to like K-pop groups nowadays, like you kind of have to switch it up all the time, right? Even though you have this like, you debuted with like, let's say a freaking like hard-hitting concept and you already have this distinct sound. Every comeback you have a chance to kind of be experimental. Your title track may be your signature concept, but your B-sides could be something more experimental, you know? And there are times when you have to perform your B-sides as well. So I think being able to do different concepts will really be an asset for someone who is an idol or an idol group. As audiences, we have such a short attention span. So sometimes concepts can get really stale. Being able to like play with different concepts, play with different genres can be really, really beneficial for the sustainability of your group in the future. Anyway, so that's really a lot of the things that I wanted to say. They ended the episode with the preview for the next episode, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Team Beat is celebrating. Imagine if they actually like turn it around, Team Beat end up winning. Like that would be the biggest upset, because we all know that Team Beat has been the underdog the entire time, right? That'd be a really, really interesting twist, to be honest. So for next episode, they're gonna reveal also the online voting. There may be some twists to that. I really don't know. Honestly, I feel like Universally should really explain the voting, because it just gets confusing. Honestly, I never know what's happening, and I only just know when it's happening. And also we don't have clarity when it comes to like the debut lineup. Are we still sticking to the team? Are they gonna incorporate individual voting? Like, it's been so confusing and I still don't have any answers. I think that's really my biggest gripe about this show. The voting system, I'm like really confused about it for the most part and frustrated. I forgot about Bungi just making the comment that he just wants to be second. He was like, you know what, all we care about is really one-upping Groove. Okay, that would be enough for us. We like don't even care about Rhythm, which cracks me up. Oh, that was so hilarious of him. But also, like, I hope he's fully recovered from his like burn injury, because that shit is so scary. But the fact that he was able to like perform like that, having only like days to fully practice, is insane. Like, that is a professional right there. That is really it for me. I'll keep you guys updated. If I'm gonna do a live, I'll be announcing it if anything, but if not, I will probably just combine the last 2 episodes for commentary and briefing. So see you guys on the next episodes.